Okay, well, welcome back to Close Enough Garage. Outside temperature, this says it's 41, my phone says it's 43. But what's important right now is the sun is out and the salt is dried up off of the road, which means I'm going for a ride. It's the VTX has been sitting here for a couple of months, just crying at me every time I walk by. It wants to go out, but you know where we're at, the weather's been shit. So I'm going to take advantage of it today and for the rest of the week, and I'm going to show you while I'm at it how to bring your bike out of storage and get ready for the springtime. Let's get right into it. All right, so to start off, of course, if you follow my other videos about preparation for the winter, when you've gotten to this point, you've either already done your basic maintenance or you're going to do it today or whenever. But for the sake of conversation, we're going to say the oil has been done in this. I promise. The brakes have been checked. We did a video on that. Front and rear brakes are brand new and functional. Air cleaner's cleaned. It's got stable in the tank. It's all been stored up for, like I said, a couple of months now. Now, I did just drop a new battery into it today, and that's because I like to take them out and take them inside where it's nice and warm year-round, and I can monitor them and just throw them on a maintenance charge every couple of weeks to a month. Now, what you're going to look at before you take your first ride is those warm temperatures and then those bitter cold temperatures we get throughout the winter time. They actually have a habit of changing the tire pressure in your tires. So the first thing you want to check is those tires. Now, usually when the temperature is a little bit cold, your pressure is going to be low. You don't want to ride on low pressure. Obviously, it's going to affect your handling, the bike's weight distribution, all your geometry on it. And then also, if you are running tube tires, you run a great risk of pinching the tube in the tire as well, which could cause a blowout. Now, I did that, ran a tube too low when I was still learning years ago. Cruising about 55 on a back road, and all of a sudden the whole rear end of the bike started dancing around on me. And somehow I managed to save it, pull off safely to the side of the road, but I'm telling you, when an inner tube goes, it goes like that. So what you're going to look at first, and I'm not grabbing it yet to show you, we'll wait, but usually on the side of your tires, it's going to have all the information you need. Now, a lot of times if you're looking for a tire replacement, that's going to be here as well. Let's see. This one in particular is a 110/90-19M. So when you go find your tires, your aspect and your profile and your rim size is all right there. Those are the numbers you're going to enter in. You're going to save a lot of money by going on a few websites out there. Nobody's paying me yet, so I'm sorry I'm not going to tell you my favorites, but shop around. Find the best deal for the best tires you can get. Anyway, along with that information, now on this tire it's on the other side, but it will tell you what the inflation should be. On both of these tires for this particular bike, they recommend 42 PSI. And I've kind of found that to be the norm as well, that a lot of them like 38 to 42 PSI, at least in the ones I've run across, which has been dozens. I can't think of an example off the top of my head that's been outside of that range. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tire gauge, and I will bring you in and run you through checking and filling. We've already charged up the world's loudest air compressor beforehand, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to do what I like to do and get right into it head first. All right, as you're visiting my house, I'm going to make the typical white guy apology and say pardon the mess, but this bike is filthy. I can't wait for the really warm weather to come back and be able to clean that. But right now, what's important is you get down to your tires, take the cap off, set it aside, don't lose it. You're going to have a tool that looks kind of like this. And what that's going to do is when you put it to the tire, it's going to open this up, and it's going to give you a reading on how many PSI is in that specific tire. After each reading, go ahead, push it in, and take another one. So for now, Get it on there nice and flat. And we are low. I would not want to ride on that. That's right at about 30 psi. So we'll go ahead and throw a little bit of air in there, and we'll take another reading. Okay, one of those rare jobs that I need two hands for, so bear with me. I've got you propped up against my leg. Probably not the best or most stable, but here we go. We're going to add some air, and there you went. All right, now that you're done looking at my ceiling, pay attention to me instead, please. We got some air in the tire. We're going to go ahead and take another reading. Watch that pop out. And we're just below 40, so I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. Get you back down on the floor this time. That might work better. Now, we're at a little bit high on my air filler, but we go by the gauge. That just kind of gets you in the ballpark. So, watch that pop out again. And I'm going to say that's right about 42, 43. I don't know. That's close enough. So, you're going to go ahead, cap that off, and repeat it for the next tire. You'll stay. Okay, so we've gone through, all the maintenance is done, the tires have been checked. I've gone through previously and checked all the bolts and everything else from last year, because you never know what you're looking at, or what you're not looking at, whether it's loose or not. For example, I got a buddy, every time we ride, I'm not naming names, he's got a turn signal that flips up to look at the sky. Bro, take 5 minutes, tighten it up, and quit screwing around with it. Anyway, depending on your tune and how your bike's set up, you might not even need the choke at these temperatures. Usually, I don't find myself needing the choke until it gets below freezing. We'll see how she acts today, because it has been a couple months since this bike's been started. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to grab both exhaust pipes right now. Show you this is a true cold start. So let's see if we can get this 1300 roar to life with no choke. She's going to be grumpy, so we'll choke it. That's fine. Usually we're looking at about maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that. Again, I've got another friend, every time you look at him, he's got the choke on his bike, and I don't know how he hasn't found out any spark plugs yet. So we're going to go ahead and turn it down a little bit, give it a little bit of gas. She died. She's unhappy. Another thing you want to keep in mind is you don't really want to rev it to the sky or put any hard throttle on it until it has been started and given a chance to warm up for a little bit, because that oil's been sitting in the case. It's had plenty of time for everything that works in the top end of the engine to drain its way down to the bottom. So you want to give it some time to get some heat going, some friction buildup, and engine temperatures up, so that way the oil's thinned out and it's worked through the engine. Then you can go ahead and run the beans out of it. I love Honda. We're going for a ride. All right, good stuff. I'm all bundled up. Bike's warming up. I got my helmet here. Ready to get going.
next time.